everyone, I'm Zoya Hasan. We're here backstage at the Under 30 Summit with Levi Conlow, an Under 30 lister and the co-founder of Lectric. Levi, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thrilled to be here. This is fun.
Yeah. So tell me, what motivated you to start an e-bike company?
Yeah, it was really in college I got into electric skateboards and had that first exposure to hub motor technology and transportation. And I did that out of my dorm room for a couple years. It was a good business, honestly. I don't know, doing a couple $100,000 every year. But I became more attracted to the idea of being able to say I changed the way people move. And with electric skateboards, I wasn't doing that. It was more just a hobby item. I wasn't actually tackling car miles or anything of the sort. So then I started researching, and e-bikes are kind of what jumped out to me. The bicycle is the single most efficient form of transportation, and the electric bicycle is the single most efficient form of motorized transportation. And so that, as we did our study, we just found that was something worth doing, and very, very fortunate to have taken that jump.
Was that a few years after college, or were you still in college at that point?
So yeah, I had just finished my master's in leadership, and before that my bachelor's in entrepreneurship. So it was right after college, and had the electric skateboard, kind of just shut that company down and then shifted the focus to e-bikes. Kept the name Lectric the same, but then just ran after that. And it's been a really cool journey so far, because it does feel like it is transportation. We now have a cargo bike that carries 450 pounds. It can carry a parent with 2-3 kids on the back and be a minivan replacement. We've dropped those bikes in Mombasa, Kenya, to do water distribution. So it's like stuff like it does feel like it is actually helping movement. And to me, that's really exciting.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, there's like a lot of citywide and like statewide incentives going
Sure.
on for like increased e-bike use.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's great news for you. But
Yeah.
does that also mean more competition for you?
Yeah. I think this market is going through an interesting period right now where we're in very early innings for this market. So the electric bicycle only makes up for, let's call it 7% of all bike sales. And if we look in places like Germany or the Netherlands, 50% of all bikes sold there are already electric. So there's a lot of growth that needs to happen here, just in respect to a penetration rate to the market. But so there's a lot of people excited and looking at it and everything like that. But what's really been interesting to see is the last year there's been kind of this I don't know how to best describe it, but kind of a shakeup in the market where if you weren't running a good business, they're really hurting right now. And so in my opinion, there's a lot of room in this space for a lot of winners, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be a lot of losers in this space either. But to talk about the exciting things in terms of tax credit vouchers or incentive plans offered by states. Very exciting. There's been conversations of maybe something one day at the federal level, and Lectric views that as just a real bonus for the consumer. It's cool for us because we get to sell more bikes and everything like that, but we really don't take a strategy when there was rumors of that getting very close at the federal level to go through. We saw all of our competition raise prices and whatever, because then they were baking in this idea of like, oh, well, people are going to, not feel the effect. And I really view those programs as benefits for the consumer and society, because e-bikes are needed as a, transportation solution. And so, we've seen these programs get proposed. Some have gotten through, some have not. And Lectric, we are very passionate about e-bikes and their place in transportation today. And so even though we're not seeing those programs always get pushed through, we have the ability to still provide a helping hand to those that need it. So if we look at like this year we launched a program. We're giving away 1,000 e-bikes, and
Oh,
so
wow,
people
okay.
put in a request for this grant, basically. And in that grant, it says, maybe you need it to go get your medical supplies, or maybe you physically need it because you can't ride a traditional bicycle,
Okay.
or you can't afford an e-bike, and you need, a lot of them are people that are refugees who can't get a license here. That's a lot of the people we're making grants to right now. And so we're doing over 1,000 e-bikes this year, just giving away to the community. And the people that are getting these bikes are people that would otherwise probably not be my customer, right? Because they
Okay.
financially cannot afford it. But for us, this is so important to do that you can't not do it. If we are in a position to do something like that, then we must.
And last year you also hosted a cycling challenge.
Yeah,
for
the Great
charity.
Cycling Challenge. Yeah. So, Robbie, my co-founder, and I are very fortunate to run a good business. Probably the most profitable micromobility company in the United States. And with that, it gives us a lot of freedom to do good in terms of just investment into our product and making it better, but also making investment into the planet and the world. And so last year, Great Cycling Challenge, that was over $100,000 we did
Wow.
for that. But this year alone, we'll do about $2.5 million towards philanthropic causes. And that's just like, it's really cool when you get to create your own business, because you get to decide what's important to that business. And for us, doing good is important to us, right? Just being an e-bike company and providing a really affordable green transportation solution, that's not enough. That's actually the starting point.
Yeah.
That's our job. We show up to work, and that is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So that can't be the end destination either of like where we feel like we've done enough. So we have, really big aspirations. And like I said, this company is only 4 years old, but at this time we're already able to deploy that much good. It makes me very excited of the possibilities in 10 years time or something like that.
And you mentioned that you're probably the most profitable e-bike company out there. Can you share a little bit more about, some metrics that can show the scale of the company?
Yeah, I can't share too much, but I would say if you look at this year alone, we will electrify and bring, well north of 150,000 bikes into circulation this year alone, and our bikes range from $800 to $1,700. And so, like I said, this is a transportation solution, and we'll actually electrify more Americans' transportation than Ford, GM, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Lucid, Rivian combined, right?
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
if you were to just look at the sheer number of people where we are changing the way they move, that, I don't know, it's a really fun space to be in right now, and it feels like we are embarking on that, original mission of we want to change the way
Yeah.
people move type of thing.
And you're certainly very passionate about your company,
Totally,
as you
yeah.
should be. But would you ever consider selling your company? What would it take?
So like Robbie and I have built this company and made all the decisions with this company to run it like we're gonna own it till the day we
Yeah.
die. So like we've been profitable since the first bike we ever sold.
Oh.
I actually didn't know you couldn't not be profitable when starting a company. Like that blew my mind when like that was first presented to us, where someone was surprised that we were profitable. So we've been profitable on every single bike. We've been able to afford and invest, proceeds back into the company and grow it when it makes sense. And we've just really tried to be mindful of the decisions we make, and stick to the moral compass of the company that we originally put in place when we first started it.
Yeah.
So I really do think I have the best job in the entire world, and I don't have any interest in leaving that role. But we got a great private equity partner right now, and we're always looking for other great partners. But yeah, it's too much fun right now.
Yeah, and all this success is here now, but you also previously shared that you had like a rough first launch with Lectric.
Oh yeah.
What were some
yeah.
of the lessons you learned?
Yeah, no, I think honestly, it's just like listen to customers.
Yeah.
Like they will tell you exactly what they want designed, how they want it to feel, and whatever. So our product development basically goes. We create a product that we kind of get feedback from customers. We launch it, and all we do for the next 7 days after product launch is go into Reddit, YouTube videos, and like we just look at what are people saying, how are they reacting, because as soon as that product's launched, we're thinking about the next product, and we need to take all that feedback. And so it's led to a relationship between Lectric and the customer where it feels like they feel listened, and they feel like they're a part of the process, and it's because they are.
Mm-hmm. And does that also mean you kind of are heavy on like social media and like trying to see what customers are saying there?
Yeah, totally. So, Lectric sold pretty much our first $50 million in sales was without a Google Ads account or Facebook or Meta account, because all we did was send out some eBikes to some people on YouTube and then let those kind of just go, and then it like nothing else was required. We couldn't even keep up with demand at that time. So that's kind of been the strategy since day one, is like using these incredible influencers to help bring awareness to it. And that's actually one of the reasons why we do okay. So that's that.
And my last question for you, Levi, is, we're at the Under 30 Summit today. To the young aspiring entrepreneurs who want to be where you are today, what is your one piece of advice?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say like stick to the basics and run a good business first, right? Lectric has been able to grow and thrive in an environment where we're seeing a lot of the whole e-bike market is down about 25%, and we're still growing in it, right? And we're still, we're only 4 years old, and we make up for 22% market share of all the e-bikes sold in the United States. And so we've been able to just run a really good business buy the growth when we can afford it, right? We've never been reckless or with any of the growth tactics or whatever. We've tried to keep a lean operation. One of our superpowers is just the efficiency of our organization, and that allows us to offer the best prices in the industry while also being the most profitable in the industry as well. And so when I think of like my competitor, they have 4 to 5 times the amount of employees as us, but they sell about 25 to 30% less bikes. That seems really inefficient. Yeah. And so I would say that, but then also, as you build out a company, being really mindful and intentional with what you do and the moral compass that you give that thing. It's so cool when you get to build something, because you get to build it how you want it to look, and that's a superpower that founders have that should really be talking about more, because it's like, for me, doing good and doing philanthropy is important, right? That is how I get dopamine. So my company should be doing that. Yeah. Like, we have the capital to do that stuff. Let's do it. And if we want to create a fun culture and but still run a really competitive environment within the company, like, we can do that. Like, as a business leader, you have the power to influence your surroundings, and it's like, use that. Like, that is your superpower. Own it and totally use it.
Yeah, that is great advice, and I really, really do love your passion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here again.
Oh, dude, totally. Appreciate it, Zoya.